The first time you ride the RTA Health Line to University Circle, you may wonder, what should I do with my bag? Can I put it on the seat next to me? What if someone wants to sit there? Will they just scooch it over? Ask me to move it? Is there a please move your bag signal that I'm unaware of? Maybe my bag is taking someone's regular seat. Maybe I'm taking someone's regular seat. Did I just set off a regular seat chain reaction and now everyone's mad at me? Or is this my regular seat? Yeah, I could get used to this. It's easier than you think, Cleveland. RTA, get ready to ride.
I am Michael. I love to recycle. I do it with my bicycle. I do it from my tricycle. I do it in the summertime, or even when there's an icicle. I place it all in a special bin. Plastic bottles, glass, and paper, again and again. Keep them together, rinsed and cleaned, but no plastic bags, please, or you'll damage the machines. So join me and your neighbors. Recycling's no chore. Check out the new website to find out some more.
Thanks for tuning in to TV20's Weekly News Wrap-Up. I'm Leah Haslage. In a landmark ruling from the U.S. Supreme Court, it is now legal in all 50 states for anyone, no matter their gender or sexual orientation, to marry the people they love. To honor this achievement, members of Cleveland City Council joined Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown and dozens of supporters and community leaders on the steps of City Hall to celebrate this remarkable moment in history.
This is such an incredible day for all of us. Whether you're gay, whether you're straight, we believe in human rights. The arc of history this week, as Dr. King would say, is bending a little more towards justice. We had a Supreme Court that made the right decision on housing discrimination, a Supreme Court that did the right thing on the Affordable Care Act, and now the Supreme Court that did the right thing finally on treating our brothers and sisters equally all across the country. So what a terrific day.
I've learned that you listen to people, you listen to each other, you talk to each other, you find the common ground where you can work together, and that common ground will bring you to a higher ground. Woo! And so we are here today proud as members of Cleveland City Council to say marriage equality is the law of the land in the United States of America.
You have sent a signal throughout this nation that Ohio will lead to make sure that the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution applies to same-sex couples. And it now does. It now does.
If you want to see more from the celebration rally, tune in all week to TV20 or check out our YouTube channel. In Cuyahoga County, 10 out of every 1,000 babies born each year do not get to celebrate their first birthday. This is an issue all of our communities face, but is 3 times more likely to happen to African American babies. The One Life, One Voice, One Community event was recently held at the Cleveland Convention Center to raise awareness and offer individuals with information to support a healthy baby, life, and city.
And when we talk about infant mortality, we are talking about the most vulnerable. And we talk about families where infant mortality occurs just for the lack of knowledge, or just for the lack of proper nutrition, for the lack of these basic things that we need to have as a society in order to ensure, as the brochure says, every baby deserves its first birthday.
Nearly 70% of all childhood death occurs during the first year of life. That's infant mortality. It is our enemy. It is who we are trying to gather this army of you all together so that we can more effectively fight it.
If we as a community come together, if we really look at what we can do to really strengthen our social connectedness, then we can and we will solve this problem.
The project director for the Cleveland Department of Public Health, Lisa Matthews, spoke to us about some of the crucial tips expecting mothers should know.
If you're interested in becoming a parent, there's some things you can do in advance to make sure that you have a healthy baby. Those include, first of all, taking personal responsibility for making sure that you yourself are healthy. Eating healthy, being active, not smoking, not drinking, getting regular checkups at the doctor, and of course any necessary immunizations.
At the Cleveland Division of Fire Promotion ceremony, 11 well-deserving men were sworn into their new ranks as captains and lieutenants. The oath of office was administered by the Honorable Mayor Frank Jackson.
Leadership, I mean, there's many definitions, but I like using the definition that the United States Army uses. Leadership is simply providing purpose, direction, and motivation to your crew. And it's really the process of influencing people. And how do we do that? It's mostly by leading by example, being the kind of boss that you want to work for, being the kind of boss that wouldn't do something that they wouldn't do themselves. You know, don't be that kind, do as I say, not as I do.
It's not so much the physical work, it's the accountability. As you move up through the ranks, you assume the accountability of the safety of the firefighters that work with you and also the service that's provided to this community. And it's very important. You can't forget that. You can't ever forget it. You always have to take the high road. Even on those days or whatever's happening, it's easy just to, you can't just, you have to take the high road.
The In the Neighborhood with MuniCorps event was held at Mount Gilead Church to give men and women the opportunity to begin to wipe their records clean of traffic violations and other nonviolent misdemeanor offenses.
Every year we pick up one or two, and then there's another one we're talking about possibly for next year. So it's interesting as we consider how we're not just keeping it in the city of Cleveland, but there are services from the county, you know, that could overlap. And the more that we can help our people with their lives, then, I mean, what are we here for?
Some years ago, I had to use the program. And this program was very instrumental in me getting back on track. So I took over about at the beginning of this year as the chairperson of the outreach here at this church. So I said immediately, even though I had been after you guys probably a year prior to that, but I said this is the place where we need to have it. You know, so I said let's try and bring it here. So we got together and worked out the logistics, and here we are.
Over 70,000 refugees come to the United States every year, with hundreds relocating to Northeast Ohio. These refugees have made a lasting positive impact on Cleveland in different areas, such as medicine, science, and art. June 20th was declared World Refugee Day, and to commemorate it here in our community, government officials and notable filmmakers gathered at the Beck Center for the Arts to call attention to the unbelievable economic impact and social influences that these individuals have made.
Refugees remind us of who we're supposed to be here in Northeastern Ohio. As somebody who grew up in a family where English was a second language, I tend to take things maybe a little bit too sensitively when it comes to people who aren't native born. And yet over and over again, I'm reminded that our refugee community and the people who work with them remind us of truly what this country is about, and in many ways give us a better definition of America than we could have hoped for.
Cleveland receives different populations of refugees, just like lots of major metropolitan cities do. The number of refugees coming into Cleveland is increasing, and that's a good thing in our eyes. It adds to our diversity, it adds to our labor pool. Refugees are incredibly entrepreneurial and hardworking, so they often end up buying houses and making great employees and great neighbors.
All of us living in the community have a responsibility to reach out to our neighbors. We need to correct misinformation, stereotypes. We should not tolerate the suspicion that sometimes the hostility that immigrants and refugees face after they come to the U.S., including those fleeing from violence in Central America. We also need to support our elected officials and reaffirm them with our commitment that they reaffirm their commitment to welcoming refugees and immigrants into the area. It's the right thing to do, so thank you.
For additional information, visit rsccleveland.org. The city recently announced a $700,000 grant to kick off the final round of land acquisitions needed to complete the next segment of the highly anticipated towpath trail. Money will help trigger the final construction of the Stage 3 of the trail, which will pass through the industrial portion of the city's flats, extending north from the Steelyard Commons Shopping Center to University Road at Literary Avenue in Tremont. A press conference was held to discuss the further plans and what still needs to be done.
The Towpath Trail Extension Project is a great investment for our region. Extending the Towpath Trail makes Cuyahoga County a better place to live for all of us, and that will continue to attract new visitors, new businesses, and new residents to our core city. The towpath also is a great example of regional collaboration working at its best.
This towpath was important to me as a councilman for two reasons. Slavic Village didn't have a whole lot of green space, and this was an opportunity to put a lineal greenway path through adjacent to that neighborhood, and a lot of good steps have been taken to link Slavic Village to this towpath, just as other neighborhoods are being linked to it. But it was important because you realize Cleveland became a major urban center because of that canal.
The Clean Ohio Green Space Conservation Program provides funding across the state for the protection, restoration, and enhancement of open spaces like we're seeing here today. And we try to promote those cultural and heritage linkages and provide access for folks to these great spaces. The Clean Ohio program benefits not only Cuyahoga County, but the entire state.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
It's a beautiful day in Cleveland, and now the Kenneth W. Clement Boys Leadership Academy is a little bit more beautiful too, thanks to volunteers from Deloitte. They spent the day out here sprucing up the playground. So let's take a look at how their hard work paid off.
As part of our Deloitte Impact Day, we're trying to coordinate a site prep project for the Cleveland Municipal School District. And we picked the Kenneth Clement School because we do some work here vis-a-vis United Way as well. It's one of our wraparound schools in the Cleveland Municipal School District that we support through our United Way campaign. So we were trying to bring our Day of Volunteering and our, which we call Impact Day, together with our United Way to really make an impact here at Kenneth Clement.
So let's see how far this goes. Do you want to hold that end down?
The Deloitte Impact Day is a day where across the United States and India, everyone in the firm donates a day to charity. So in Northeast Ohio, we have 10 sites that we have about 300 people working at today, all doing various different things, from doing weeding and yard work in the national park to helping at various different charity organizations to here at the Cleveland Municipal Schools. We did a very large mulching project of the playground, as well as coordinating with the principal. We did some things to help beautify the playground area, painted lines on the basketball court, the baseball field, 4-square hopscotch, and just a lot of general cleanup.
I'm very excited that Deloitte has partnered with us to make this Impact Day so special. At Kenneth Clement Boys Leadership Academy, we have about 200 boys that are rambunctious, energetic, love to learn, and then love to be out and play and be active. And Deloitte has provided that opportunity by the cleanup to make it a beautiful place and one boys that will enjoy. So not only will the boys enjoy it, but the community will enjoy it as well. So as being a partner with the community. It's a way of networking and connecting, and school and community is always important, and Deloitte is a part of that.
Well, it's great to see a big pile of mulch turned into a beautiful playground, and buckets of paint that we had donated turned into a basketball court that kids are already playing on this afternoon. So it's great to kind of see things really kind of take shape before your eyes.
To see some of our scholars already on the court enjoying it, it's a good feeling, because this is their community and they enjoy and deserve the best.
As you can see, the community is already enjoying it, so it's sure to be a fun summer and a very fun school year. Reporting from the Kenneth W. Clement Boys Leadership Academy, Shannon Kantner, CMSD TV.
The College Now Resource Center is here to help adult learners and traditional students achieve their educational goals. 65% of open jobs in Ohio require higher education, but only 39% of adults have at least an associate's degree.
I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't know how to get there. College Now opened so many doors for me and helped me through the process.
College Now provides free counseling on college planning, career training, financial aid, and student loan consolidation. It's never too late to take control of your future, so stop into the College Now Resource Center today.
This is the moment I knew his future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back to TV20's Weekly News Wrap-Up. I'm Christian Patterson, and here's a look at what's going on in sports. The Cleveland Indians, over a span of 3 games, have done something that no other team has done since 1961. The Tribe has now seen its starting pitching rotation carry perfect game bids deep into 3 contests. Carlos Carrasco was perfect through 6.1 innings. Cody Anderson retired 22 straight through 7.1 innings. And Danny Salazar retired 15 straight through 5 innings. According to Elias, this marks the only time during at least the expansion era for any major league team to have starters remain perfect through 5 frames in 3 consecutive games. The 2015 NBA free agency market was stacked with talent this year. Players received huge paydays, and Cleveland Cavaliers owner Dan Gilbert showed that he was still all in by re-signing players quickly. Despite all the rumors of unrestricted free agent Kevin Love bolting for Los Angeles, Love agreed to a 5-year deal with the Cavs worth approximately $110 million. Love feels that he has unfinished business in Cleveland and he can't wait till next season. Next on the list was Tristan Thompson. During the season, LeBron James endorsed Thompson by saying, "Tristan Thompson should be a Cavalier for life." Thompson was extended a qualifying offer of $80 million for 5 years, and now he is locked in. Iman Shumpert has also reached an agreement with the Cavs. He was offered a 4-year, $40 million deal, and he accepted. With Dan Gilbert showing willingness to open up his pockets and pay the luxury tax, the Cavs are intact to compete for championships with this squad for years to come. There's a lot of noise coming from the Browns camp about rookie running back Duke Johnson. During the 2014 season in Miami, Johnson finished with 1,652 rushing yards, 421 receiving yards, and 13 touchdowns. Rumors are surfacing that Johnson is looking very good in Brown's backfield that he shares with Isaiah Crowell and Terrence West. Last year, the Browns started those two running backs, and as impressive as they were, Johnson will be added to the mix. Could Johnson end up with the biggest workload, or is this all hype to make for good competition between teammates? Well, that's all I have for your TV20 Weekly Sports Wrap-Up. When we return from break, we'll have more with Leah.
If you store your guns properly, I'll feel safer when I'm playing outside.
Safer when walking home.
I won't have to tell so many family members. I'm sorry.
I won't hear as many scary stories.
And I won't have to tell my kids. This isn't a drill.
Please.
Please, do it for us.
Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always, lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
Thanks for watching TV20. We are Cleveland. Welcome back to TV20's Weekly News Wrap-Up. Representatives from various Slovenian organizations joined Mayor Frank Jackson in the City Hall Rotunda to celebrate the 24th annual Slovenian Statehood Day and the individuals who have made a difference.
We went to visit a few years back with Yuri and the council people, and when we were there, we were staying at a hotel, and then we found out that the manager of the hotel was Councilman Simperman's relative. And so it's true that there's a real connection between Slovenia and Cleveland, Ohio.
For many of us, especially like me, who had never been to Slovenia like I had with Mayor Jackson, Councilman Polensek, and with Jure, I thought I knew a little bit about my heritage. I certainly knew enough from my mother and father. But it took this Consul General to show us in Cleveland what it really means to be a Slovenian living in America and how Americans could be in Slovenian.
And as I said to the mayor, I'm going to miss this guy, because whether it be the Collinwood community, whether it be St. Clair Superior, whether it be out at Pastava, wherever it may be, he was there to support our efforts. And he was here to support the city of Cleveland. He's been a cheerleader and a supporter for the city of Cleveland. And that has not always been the case in the past with people from the diplomatic community. He's always been supportive.
The 4th annual Vintage Police Vehicle Show was held at the Justice Center Plaza. The show was a blast from crime-fighting past as visitors got the chance to see old-time cars as well as new ones from the Cuyahoga Sheriff's Department, the Cleveland Police Department, and the Ohio State Patrol.
Got the command unit, they got the bomb squad. It is just awesome. So we have roughly 28 registered vintage vehicles too, and it's really been an amazing feat here to be able to get this going. It was just kind of a crazy idea we had back about 4 years ago. Say, hey, why don't we just have an open house for the museum, and then also have a car show.
This is a 1969 Plymouth Belvedere. It is an exact replica of the Adam 12 television show car, but it is also correct for a 1969 Los Angeles police car as well.
Families recently came out for the Fishing Foundation annual Fishing with Dad event at Rockefeller Park. The foundation was founded in 2010 with a mission to enrich individual lives through the sport of fishing.
We started Fishing with Dad as a way for dads and moms to spend some time with their kids. We started the Fishing Foundation because actually we really wanted to provide an opportunity for people to come out, enjoy the great outdoors, spend some time together. It's Father's Day weekend. What better way to spend your time than to be outside fishing with your kid and your friends, and then to have a hamburger, a hot dog. It's a great day. If anyone wants to get involved with the Fishing Foundation, they can certainly go to our website, which is thefishingfoundation.org. We're a nonprofit. They can also call me at 216-337-8891. But please go online. We're on Facebook. join us next year. We're going to do this again next year. This is going to be a reoccurring event for us.
I love this, and I love spending time with him. And this is my grandson, and I love just being here.
For more information, visit thefishingfoundation.org. As you know, there's always something fun to do in the city of Cleveland, and here's a list of activities and events coming up to enjoy. Launched in 1970, the National Youth Sports Program at Case Western Reserve University exemplifies the university's commitment to improving the quality of life for others in the community by providing a 5-week summer camp experience that offers sports activities, education, nutrition, and health services to more than 500 economically disadvantaged Greater Cleveland youth ages 10 to 16 each year. TV20 reporter Christian Patterson had the pleasure of attending this camp as a kid, and he recently went back as a reporter. Let's take a look.
Since its inception, the program, which began June 8th and runs through July 10th this year, has served more than 15,000 local children. For many, it's their first exposure to a college campus and instills educational goals for them to work toward, resulting in much more than just a sports camp.
We use sports as the carrot to get the kids in. You know, we have 10 different sports. But you sit around and you look at this great university, the facility, we're sitting on world-class facilities. But not only, I get the thing about the facility, but you have access to a lot of our professors who give up their time to work in the program. You know, I try to get teachers from the greater Cleveland area to work the program. It's not school, it's not camp, it's something in between.
Once enrolled in NYSP, children can participate in a variety of sports. Campers rotate between activities for maximum exposure to at least 4 sports. Although participation in swimming is mandatory for all campers as an important safety skill.
Our hours are very, very long. You're walking from point A to point B. You're on a campus, you're on a college campus. You're not just in one school building. That's the aspect that makes me feel good. You get these kids ready for college right now. Our program starts at 10, but you get the kids ready now for college because it's a college schedule.
The National Youth Sports Program provides a structured environment with established expectations of positive behavior and mutual respect during a critical development stage in children's lives.
During the summer, a lot of times children have nothing to do. We want to provide support to the families in the community by having this program here.
Young people face many obstacles today, compounded by the environment in which they live. But the goal of this program is to change their outlook on their future.
I think the number one is hope. Hope and an idea that they can extend themselves outside of their home life and their community. So here you provide them tools that give them experience that they might never have. If you don't have the opportunity to touch and talk to different people, how can you actually see the outside of where you're from? So to give them to dream. Yes, I can be a professor. Yes, I can be a scientist. Yes, I can be a nurse. I can be a therapist. So I think that's the benefit.
Giving back to the community is something that comes as second nature to former Ohio State basketball player Dallas Lauderdale, as it was something that he learned early on during his time at Ohio State and is still something that's important to him today. In the midst of making his return to the NBA, TV20 intern Chris Cromedy had the pleasure of catching up with Dallas as he held his first ever Direction Up basketball camp this past week.
I had surgery on my foot back in November, and I had a lot of downtime, idle time where I really wasn't doing anything productive. So I thought, why not have a basketball camp with, when the time comes. And I started organizing it back in November. My father asked me, what kind of message do you want to leave with the kids? What kind of message do you want the kids to leave your camp with? And I said I want them to leave with a positive perspective, a positive mentality on everything in life, not just basketball. So that's why the name Direction Up has came about, because it's all about a Direction Up mentality.
What can they expect from your camp when they drop their kids off here with you?
They can expect their kids to get better. Number one, with a better mindset, better physically, better mentally, just better. This is a week. We have a week to work with the kids. We have a week to instill some qualities in them. We have a week to instill some basketball knowledge, some basketball moves, some things that they can take back with them to their teams, to their schools, stuff like that. So, there's going to be reminders throughout the year, just axing up, checking on the kids, make sure they're still keeping that Direction Up mentality, and then we'll go from there on next year.
Direction Up basketball camp is not only geared towards developing the kids' skills as basketball players, but it's also dedicated to sharpening their minds and helping to develop them as better people as well. Here's what Dallas had to say to the children that he worked with this week, as well as an inside look at one of the special surprises he had in store for the kids at the camp.
My friend Dallas Lauderdale, a great guy I've known for a while. I've been playing basketball with him now for the last 3 or 4 years. He invited me up here to talk to the kids, man, and I do this on my job all the time. I get a chance to impact kids, and the Direction Up basketball camp seems to be a really good program. It's teaching kids how to not just focus on basketball, but to keep your views and your goals up and keep your head up no matter where you're going. So it's a great message, and I always like to align myself with great people.
I've learned patience. That's what I've learned. That's number one, the thing I've learned, because you want kids to do well. You want the most inexperienced kid to do so well in the hot shot and the free throws, and they're just not yet. They're not fully developed in the basketball area. So you got to be patient with their growth. You got to let them grow, and hopefully next year we'll see some improvements. We'll see some strides and continue to see them get better. But the thing I've learned a lot is patience. That I got to have patience with kids and people, not just got to have patience with everybody. I think the kids have learned from me is that basketball is a dry run through life. There are things in basketball that help get you prepared for things in life. You have bad games, you have bad shooting days, and you also have bad days in real life. You also get bad grades on tests, but the key is, how do you respond to that? And that's really what I've tried to instill. You know, I start off every day by saying to the kids, yesterday is over. There's nothing we can do about yesterday. If you had a bad shooting day, if you didn't win so many games in 3-on-3, it's over. So don't bring yesterday's trash into today. Today is all about getting better. Today is all about doing whatever you need to do to have a better day than yesterday.
If you'd like to see more of these stories in their entirety, tune in to TV20's Around Town and just check our schedule for times. That's all for your TV20 Weekly News Wrap-Up. I'm Leah Haslage. Thanks for watching. Now stay tuned for the bottom line up front with City of Cleveland Media Relations Director Dan Williams.
Downtown Cleveland.
You know, what a transition from Manhattan apartment to a downtown Cleveland apartment. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Made me feel
Hi, I'm Cleveland City Councilman Zach Reed, and I want to invite you to the 12th Annual Family Unity in the Park Concert and Celebration Show. This year, our musical acts will be Stephanie Mills, the SOS Band, and Evelyn Champagne King. And once again, we will have one of the largest fireworks shows in the city of Cleveland. We have food vendors, we have free health screening, and we have a kiddie park for your young people. So come on out, enjoy yourself at Lukeyster Park on Saturday, July 25th at the Family Unity in the Park Concert and Celebration Show. See you there.
Thanks for watching TV20. We are Cleveland.
Mayor Frank Jackson and the City of Cleveland are committed to keeping your neighborhood clean and green through the use of the city-issued trash and recycling carts. It's safe, convenient, and mandatory. For more information, contact the Cleveland Division of Waste Collection at 216-664-3717.
Hello, I'm Dan Williams, the Media Relations Director for the City of Cleveland, and this is the bottom line up front. In this edition of Bluff, I will discuss enlisting your help to stop illegal dumping. Over a year ago, the Environmental Crimes Task Force started investigating Dwayne Cooper. He was convicted of 6 felony charges related to illegal dumping. These charges include open dumping, an unclassified felony, open burning, also an unclassified felony, operating a landfill without an EPA permit, unclassified felony, 2 counts of receiving stolen property, and possession of criminal tools. Since their inception in 2014, the Environmental Task Force has investigated over 150 crimes related to illegal dumping in Cleveland, which is severely damaging our environment. Convictions had been sought against these individuals who continue to operate illegally in our city, and we are making good progress, but more must be done. In the Cooper case, our investigators found a tire dumping operation on a lot at 7810 Colfax when they spotted a fire. The inspectors called for backup and upon further investigation discovered there was more than just a fire burning at this location. Our inspectors then obtained a Cuyahoga County search warrant and uncovered a series of crimes that led to the March 26, 2015 convictions. The investigation revealed that Mr. Cooper was obtaining stolen vehicles, ripping them apart with an excavator, scrapping the metal including engines and transmissions, and burning or burying the remaining scraps to dispose of the evidence. As the efforts of the Environmental Crimes Task Force continue, we are asking for your help. If you see these types of crimes in progress, dumping and/or operating illegally, please call 911 with a description of the vehicle and/or suspect. If you wish to remain anonymous, you may contact the Environmental Crime Task Force hotline 664-DUMP. The bottom line, if you see something, report it to 911 or 664-DUMP. You can also call your local neighborhood council office. These are not random acts. People who participate in illegal dumping are deliberate, coordinated, and sophisticated. They are not looking out for your best interests. They are cutting corners and putting money in their own pockets. This crime invites more crimes, and the only way to stop it is to report it. With illegal dumping, the offender is polluting the environment and causing property values to go down. I'm Dan Williams, and this has been the Bottom Line Up Front.